Regulating surface. Okay, you need to angle left just a little bit.
Well,
It's incredible, isn't it, to think that Mitchell and Shepard were all those millions of miles away on the moon, and yet we could watch them. That's of course because a television camera had been set up to transmit the pictures back to Earth. It's taken inventors, scientists and engineers a very long time to achieve that. Perhaps the first big step was discovering how to produce a photograph.
Good, good. Now, perfectly still, everybody. Smile, please. Splendid, splendid. Is it not marvellous to think that a picture of what the camera sees is transferred to the plate behind? Now, this plate is processed and printed and, hey presto, captured forever, suspended in a moment of time. The flower seller's, the newspaper seller, a true still likeness. But you notice still. How, my friends, to record pictures which move. And it is here that we make use of man's own incredible instruments. His eye, which sees, and his brain, which remembers what he sees. Mr. Neal, the first demonstration, if you would be so kind. Now, observe here a series of pictures, still pictures, of a whale leaping in and out of the water and a seagull flying above him. Now, if you would be so good as to insert them into the Zoetrope, Mr. Neal. Thank you. And apply movement. And lo and behold, our whale and our seagull seem to move. That is remarkable, is it not? And they seem to move because we remember each picture just long enough for it to blend with the next one. And as the pictures pass, they blend into one another, and we go back to the beginning, and our whale and our seagull swim and fly forever. Now, we call this memory of the eye persistence of vision. Persistence of vision. And now let us see how this persistence of vision has been applied to moving photography. Now, I want you to imagine, if you can, taking a series of photographs of a man moving his arm thus. Now, the first photograph would show the man with his arm here, the second with his arm here, the third here, and so on and so on. But if we were to see these pictures, one after the other, very quickly, in the right order, the man's arm would be seen to move from here to there, because the persistence of vision would blend one picture with the next. Mr. Neal, please. Now, here we see many pictures of a scene printed on a roll of celluloid. Now, these are projected onto a screen. If you would be so kind, please, Mr. Neal. And lo and behold, we see things moving just as though in real life. What we are really seeing now, my friends, is a series of many pictures of people and buses. Each picture shows the thing a little further forward than it was in the one before it. And our persistence of vision makes them blend with one another to make them move. Is not that remarkable?
Professor Walker would have been very interested to find that we use the same principle, persistence of vision, in television. Your picture of me at this moment is made up of tiny patches of light, white, grey and black, but the picture is reaching you through a process we call scanning. This means that an electronic beam is racing across these patches. You can see one now. It moves from left to right across the screen, rather like you reading words on a page. We are showing this to you in slow motion, but in fact it happens very fast, over 10,000 miles an hour on your school set. But because of your persistence of vision, this enables you to see and understand the picture without realizing that the scanner is at work. Instead of a lot of tiny spots of light, you think that you can see a complete picture of me. And the picture builds up.
I expect you know what this is. The post office tower. But did you know that it is the main junction box or sorting office for television in England? London programmes are made at the BBC Studios at White City, Thames Television at Teddington and Euston, and London Weekend at King's Reach. They then go out to the masts at Crystal Palace and Croydon, which transmit them through the air so that you can pick up the signals on your aerial and see the pictures on the screen of your set at home. From the Post Office Tower, programmes from BBC and ITV also come to Battersea, where the ILEA has converted a school into a television centre. From this television centre, we send BBC, ITV and our own programmes by cable underground to your school. In fact, to almost every ILEA school and college in London.
So on your ILEA set, you find that Channel 8 gives you BBC programmes and Channel 9 is for ITV. And back on Channel 2, you have London, People and Places. This is made here at the Television Centre in one of our own studios. Perhaps now you'd like to know a little bit more about how it's done. Well, at this moment, Roger is working camera 1, which is taking this shot of me. And by moving his position, or changing a lens, he can get many different shots of me. And my voice is being picked up by a stand microphone. This means that I have to be careful not to rustle the pages of my script about too much or move too far away. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear me. Another reason for keeping still is that the vision engineer has arranged the lights above my head to make me look as nice as possible. And now we'll let the cameras go over to Professor Walker's set.
I was playing the part of the professor talking about moving photography about 70 years ago. Our director asked the designer to give me some scenery for around about the year 1900, and here it is. And the camera firm, Kodak, lent us some cameras and things from their exhibition. Now, David here was doing the demonstrations, so that left me free to do the talking, see?
Yes, I didn't have anything to say this time. I didn't have anything to learn. You understand that we don't just make up our words as we go along. In actual fact, we have to learn them from a script. And even holding up this Zoetrope strip so that the camera could get a close-up, that was on the script as well.
We did move about a bit, though, in our little bit, so a stand microphone wouldn't have been much use for us, otherwise you wouldn't have heard it. Instead of that, we had a boom microphone. Now, a boom microphone, that's like a sort of fishing rod affair that holds the microphone over our head. I expect you've seen it sticking into the picture sometimes, like that.
Yes, on other channels, of course.
On the other channels, of course, because, you see, that's when the boom operator's been a bit too slow to move it out of the picture. There's our boom operator up there now. You see, he's got a script as well, and he can move the microphone around and follow the actors about as they speak, and so because of that, we use the microphone, the boom microphone, for short plays.
The GPO tower we showed you is actually a photograph, put on a stand, facing a camera. While I was explaining all about television transmission, I was sitting here, out of sight. When we want to illustrate something, we ask our designer to design us a special caption or picture or diagram. For example, the Crystal Palace mast. Now, this picture is painted on black card and holes are cut out to show the white lines behind, and the floor manager turns it round. And the underground cables from the television centre are shown by the camera zooming out. It's the floor manager and his assistants who work these captions and see they're positioned at the right time.
Yes, that's my job, to see that everyone is in the studio in the correct places at the right time. I tell Gordon, Margot, and the actors exactly what the director wants to do. That's why I wear these earphones. I can hear exactly what the director is saying in the box. And she's telling me right now that I should get on with it and cue Margot.
You can imagine that in this studio, which is really rather small, our positions have to be worked out very carefully. Otherwise, you'd have the cameras crashing about like Dodgem cars. And here is a plan of the studio today. And as Gordon explains, our floor manager will point out the details.
Here is Professor Walker's set. And here, Professor Walker and Mr. Neal, and the boom in position, and the cameras in position for taking shots of that scene. The caption stands, Margot in her set, me sitting out of shot, and behind me the vision control, the viewing room, and the sound control room, all out of shot behind me. Now, we can see the camera moving into position to shoot the sound control room.
This is sound control. The sound supervisor works at a complicated desk of switches which control the studio microphones. When necessary, he can play in music and any sound effects from a car crash to mad laughter. Next to the sound control room, we have a viewing room where visitors can watch the studio at work and inspectors can come to see we're teaching you properly. And this is the vision control room.
Cue Margot.
The vision engineers control the knobs and switches so that you get good, clear pictures. And next to them sits the director. In the case of this programme, is Joyce Fowler. She plans the rehearsals and keeps everyone working together. Next to Joyce is Mary, the vision mixer, who operates a panel of switches so that the shots from the different cameras are seen at the right time.
3 net. Cue Margot.
Perhaps you can just see that on the top middle monitor,
Coming to
marked
2.
transmission, is the shot on camera 1.
Coming to 2.
And Mary will now
5.
press down the switch, controlling camera 3 shots. And now you're getting this shot of me, which is being taken by camera 3. And now we want to mix to the next shot, which is on camera 1. So Mary will gradually move the mixer from one to the other. Let's just see that.
The pictures and sounds which make up this program are recorded by a machine downstairs in the room we call Master Control. The tape looks rather like sound tape, only much wider, 2 inches wide in fact. Colin, a videotape engineer, is making sure both sound and pictures are being recorded properly on the tape. When it's finished, he packs the tape away in its box. This will go into our storeroom, where we keep all the programs we make, all carefully labelled and arranged on shelves, like books in a library. Now, what happens when it's time to transmit the program to you? At the other end of Master Control Room, Keith watches the monitors for all our channels. London People and Places is about to begin. Automatically, the machine which plays back the tape starts working. It's timed so that immediately after the last second on the clock, our program will start.
We've only had time to introduce a few of the people who work here, but there are many more. There's the whole staff of our other studio, and we have photographers, a film crew to shoot our outside film, designers, the people who build our sets, others who get the costumes and the props, and then there are engineers to see that the machinery is working properly, and the typists who prepare our scripts. But now I must say goodbye, and I wish you all a very happy summer. And if you stay switched on, you'll be able to see how we finish making a programme. Goodbye.
Track in on camera 2. Fade up closing music. Fade sound and vision. Stop recording. Thank you very much, studio. That's fine. Thank you.
How do you move out of shot?